Hey guys, what a wonderful week of hiking I've had. Best week in a while actually. So I'll tell you about today's walk in a minute, but first a recap on the week. Hey guys, so it's Saturday the 21st of March and it is just afternoon, about 12:15. And I'm sitting here in Villafranca de los Barros or something to that effect. And I drove up from Zafra earlier. And this is a lovely little town. Just to give you a quick little sense of where I'm parked. I'm parked here sort of on a village square. Well, village square. It's a town. And there are quite a few squares in this town, or triangles, or whatever you want. But so I stayed in Zafra last night, as you know, and I didn't go down to check out the town because it rained all evening and it rained all night. In fact, I was parked up against a building, sort of. The back of it was close to a building. And when I went to bed, I could hear this pounding noise. I went down for a look. It was just the water pouring off the top of the building down on top of me. So I had to pull out a metre or so, metre or two, so the water wasn't hitting me so I could go to sleep. But it rained all night long. And when I woke up this morning, it stopped raining and it hasn't rained today. So I went straight out. I got up and I went straight out. I didn't wait to even have my cup of tea. I just said, I get out while it's dry, just in case it rained later. And I only did a short walk. So I continued along the Camino, and I did just a 10k and about 270 meters of ascent. Interestingly, a couple of things. The first thing is I previewed on all trails. You can hit the preview button to see the route. So I saw it. I saw no climb at all. I thought, that's great, no ascent at all for the distance I was going to walk out and back. So I said I won't bother bringing my poles. What I didn't realise was the app shows you the ascent, but doesn't show you the descent. So I had 270 meters of descent, which I then had to climb back up on the way back, learning. But it was okay. I headed out from town. I parked up beside Aldi, and I walked from there. And I met a few pilgrims on the way. And it was lovely to wish everybody buen Camino and give them a wave. I know how much I loved it. Everybody said it to me when I was doing it with Ellie. So saw a few of those. The ground was sort of mucky and from all the rain last night. It was a hardcore, sort of a clay hardcore road, unpaved road. It got quite mucky and bits and pieces of it were concrete, but mainly it was unpaved. But I walked through a beautiful little town on the way, just a couple of kilometres, maybe 3 kilometres from Zafra, and it was lovely, really charming, lovely old church, nice little triangles and squares, and sorry, nice. But these are all agricultural towns. There's no tourism here, I'd say, we're talking about. You drive to them, it's all agriculture. It just reminds me of Ireland. The buildings are all white. That's the only difference. But this town is half decent. But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, lovely walk. Enjoyed it. Went out and back, pretty snappy, and came back and drove up to here. I haven't had a shower or anything. I got some bread in Aldi, and I made myself a big chicken salad. And I had a roll and a chicken salad for lunch. It was delicious. And I'm reading the Irish Times. I'm going to have some 85% cocoa chocolate in a moment to keep me going, and then plan what I'm going to do next. And I have no idea at this point in time. I sort of like it here. I might sit here. I mightn't go anywhere today. I might just walk around this town, bum around. It's interesting how quiet these towns are. Seville is different, obviously. It's a big city. But these towns, there's nobody in them. I mean, you walk around and there are no people. All these streets are just empty. It sounded a bit like Ballaroe was a bit the same, I have to be honest. So maybe it's just a country town. They're all out digging ditches and feeding the animals or whatever. But yeah, but all is good. I'm in good form, and now that I'm actually following this little Camino and doing bits and pieces of it, and I got some sense of a plan is sort of made for it. I don't have to make the plan every day, and I'm not doing these crazy drives just trying to get the weather. I'm just finding this much better, and I'm feeling much better about it. So yeah, so I'm going to keep doing this for the next few days and see where it takes me. So all is good. Hope all is good with you. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Hey guys, it is 7:15 and I'm up in Merida. You can see where I am. I stopped off in Villafranca and had a lovely time. Went for a walk around there. Had my food first, made some food and had a shower. I went for a walk around the town, and it was a really pretty town, lovely. And so I was parked right in the heart of the town, and lots of people in the cafes all around me, but nobody on the streets. Very, very strange, but very, very pretty town. So I hung out there for the afternoon, and then I drove up to here. And my plan is that I will spend the night. I found a place to park here, just outside the town, along by the river. And my plan is that I will stay here, leave the van here tomorrow morning, and I will go for a walk, and I'll walk back. So this is an old Roman town. It's got a Roman bridge that's 2,000 years old, and I'll photograph it tomorrow. And it is still in use. Incredible. I mean, it was really quite incredible. And there's a big Roman castle here, and there's an arena where there used to be chariot races. So I intend to do a tour of those at some stage tomorrow and get some photographs of them. But I'm going to walk back, probably walk back 7 or 8 kilometers back on the Camino route. So do it backwards and then walk out and back tomorrow morning. That's my plan. Tomorrow's Sunday. So everything is sort of closed, as in Spain on Sunday. There are no shops or anything open. So I've got enough food. I've got everything I need for tomorrow. I've got some really nice bread. And yeah, so that's my plan. And hang out here tomorrow then, I think, for the day. Go and check out the town or whatever. There'll probably be little restaurants and things open. So I might go and have some food in the restaurant. Who knows? But yeah, so all is good. Yeah, really, and the weather's improved. The rain has stopped. The forecast for tomorrow is for late teens, early 20s. And the forecast for the next few days is around 20 degrees. So fingers crossed, a bit of sunshine, a bit of heat again. I'm looking forward to that. So that's it. So I'll talk to you tomorrow after my walk. Hey guys, what a day. So let me show you where I'm parked first. So I moved over from where I was this morning. I decided to get right down beside the old town. You see down there? That's where the Roman bridge is. So I moved right down beside the old town about 8 o'clock this morning. I reckon there'd be nobody around on Sunday morning. And sure enough, there wasn't. And all the parking spaces were empty. And there's no charge today. So I came down and I just parked here. And I had a great day. So I went out for a walk. You can see it here. Did about, I don't know, 12k or 13k, something like that. And a couple hundred meters of ascent. But it was a tough old walk. And the Roman bridge, walking across the Roman bridge, the first bit was amazing. Absolutely spectacular. That bridge is 2,000 years old and it's still in use. Now, it's a pedestrian bridge now, but it's 2,000 years old. And I thought that was something that you see later on when I talk about the Roman town. This is a spectacular place. But anyway, I went for my walk. So I walked over the bridge, I turned left, and went along by the river. That was lovely. And then we went to sort of a crummy old track through a sort of a depressed area of the town and out into the fields, but all rubbish and crap and builders crap everywhere. But then eventually we got to a trail, and the trail walked along, and it was lovely. And that was like really lovely. Okay, we're out in the country, this is lovely. And then we got this mud. So it's been raining recently, you know. We got this, this mud. Ellie, if you're listening, you'll appreciate this. You remember this mud that used to stick to our shoes during the Camino, and your soul slowly but surely builds up. Oh, holy cow. I plan to go out and do 7.5 to 10k and then return, so do between 15 and 20 kilometers. But after 6 or 6.5k, walking in this mud and my shoes just building up, it was impossible. My shoes actually were coming off. I was pulling the shoes off my feet. I just couldn't walk anymore. So I can't do this. So I turned around, I came back, and I walked back. And so it was lovely. It was good to get out. I got out early, and that was fine. So, but it was what it was. I met a couple of, believe it or not, I met a couple of pilgrims. So they must have been up and out early. So I was doing like 5k out. I met my first pilgrim. I met 2 of them, and 2 guys, separate guys, walking on their own. So that was pretty impressive. So I don't know where they were walking from. If they were walking from the last town, then it wasn't a long walk. If they were walking from the one before, which is what I thought most people would do, it was a 30k walk. So they must have been leaving at cock crow this morning. So when I was coming back across the bridge, I bought a ticket down here in the corner. So anyway, I went in to look around this incredible Roman ruin, and you can see it here. Absolutely spectacular. And I've walked through Roman ruins before, but the ruins I went through today were just different. I actually felt like I was experiencing what Rome must have been like. So here, let me show you the temple of Diane, which apparently originally was dedicated to Rome and the emperor, but it's been called the Temple of Diane for centuries now, so it's sort of stuck. Then I went to see I thought I was going to see just an amphitheatre, so where they would have plays and shows and an amphitheatre, and I saw that, and then I went to the next section of it, and I realised it was a gladiatorial arena. And I was able to go down into the arena and walk along it. And you know that movie Gladiator? When you look at that, and it was absolutely like that. It was quite different from the Colosseum in Rome, which I experienced. And I enjoyed the Colosseum in Rome. But that was just so big. It was so much of a huge building that this was different. This was very human. It was huge, but it was very human. You could imagine, and with everything explained, these were the gates the gladiators came in. These were the gates that the winners went out. Here's where they put down the wooden boarding for the gladiators to fight on, and all this kind of stuff. It was, and then it showed what people, Seneca used to say, the people would shout, like, kill them, or mercy, or whatever it was, and all the words they would use. It was truly amazing. It must have been some empire. And then I thought I'd walk and have a look at a couple of other things on the way to the chariot arena. This is about 500 meters long and a couple of hundred meters wide. And these chariot teams were owned, these were commercial enterprises. So that you have the red, the white, the blue and the green or whatever teams, the 4 teams. And they had 12 gates. So there could be 3 chariots from each team. And they would race these things and they'd be betting on them. And these were commercially important teams. And of course, the Romans loved the chariot racing. You can see they were a military race. Everything was about the military. It was all about fighting. The horses, the chariots, the fighting in the ring. Everything was all about their military. It was really, really interesting. I walked around the chariot arena. I thought it blew my mind away. I could imagine them. I remember Ben-Hur, that movie from years ago, Burt Lancaster, and I can imagine them, the chariots racing there, what it must have been like. So they continued the excavation here, and it's really, really impressive what they're doing. Then I went for a sort of general walk around the town and looked at a couple of other bits and pieces, and I ended up down in the Plaza of Spain, and I had a couple of beers, and you can see me here. I had a couple of beers and I just watched the world go by, and it's a beautiful day in the 20s, absolutely glorious. And this is as good as it gets, guys. So I'm going to stay here where I'm parked tonight. I think it was lovely. I see no reason to go anywhere else, and I'm not sure what I'll do tomorrow. I don't think I'll walk out from here. I think I'll drive to somewhere and walk back again. But no big plans at the moment. I'm going to have a glass of wine now in a minute to top off my 2 beers, and put my feet up and chill and read for a while. Talk to you guys. Hey guys, it is Tuesday. You may wonder what happened Monday. I'll come back to it in a moment. And it's just afternoon, 10 minutes past 12, and I'm just in for my walk. And I had a wonderful, wonderful walk. I'll tell you about it in just a second. Yesterday, I decided that having had such a great experience in Meridiana, I think it's called, with the Roman amphitheatre and gladiatorial ring and the racetrack for the chariots, I'm just so sort of overwhelmed and amazed by it all. I thought I'd come up to this town, which is called Caceres, Cacores. It's an old medieval town, or city. So yesterday I did a tour of the city. I just bummed around. I walked and parked out in beside the graveyard, the cemetery. It's about a 20-minute walk into town. So I walked in and spent 2 hours, maybe a bit more, maybe 3 hours, wandering around the city, going to all the cathedrals and the museums and the this, that, the other. It's beautiful. It's interesting. Really, really nice. I love the stone. This sort of brown sandstone. It's really, really nice. Lovely city and ancient as well. Back a medieval town, so it's been around for a long time. And yet, not the same in terms of scale as the Romans. I mean, those guys really knew how to build stuff. But anyway, so I had dinner actually on the plaza, and somebody was encouraging me to eat better. Somebody who corresponds with me was encouraging me to eat better and saying, you need to get your carbs for energy, you need to get your bits and pieces. So I went to a restaurant on the square yesterday and had a really nice lunch. I had trout actually, and it was very tasty. And I had sort of charcuterie beforehand, and I had a sort of a tart, thing afterwards, and a couple of glasses of wine. It was perfect. And so I came back and spent most of the evening here just chilling and reading. So that was, I had a lovely day, really, really nice day, really enjoyed it. And then this morning, I slept well last night, woke up at 6, got up at 7, I'm getting lazy, and I geared up, just put on my shorts and t-shirt, and brought my backpack because I brought a fleece. It was cool enough when I started out this morning. And I brought my poles because this time I thought twice about it, and I actually looked at the all trails, and instead of following the route, I actually looked at the mountain bit. Of course, anything I had to go down, the piece that shows the ascent and descent, and then to go down because I'd have to go up on the way back. So I reckon it was about 400 or 500 meters of ascent. So I brought the poles, and I was glad I did it on the way back. The walk itself was lovely. It sort of reminded me of the Mesa in northern Spain on the Camino Frances, just flat and green. So it's all green now, it hasn't burnt yet. It's all green and flat, and these paths just wandering through it. It was sort of lovely. And apart from the hill at the climb at the end, when I was coming back, it was a pretty flat walk, and that was nice for a change. My heel is a bit sore. The old plantar fascia problem is coming back for sure, so I'll have to get it dealt with when I come home in a couple of weeks. But but it was a lovely walk. Really enjoyed it. Interestingly, I left at 8 o'clock, so I assumed that I didn't see any pilgrims the whole way out. When I walked out the 10k, so I did 21k at about 3.5 hours. And so let's say the 1.5 hours out, didn't see a single pilgrim. Really surprised. And then I turned around, and for half an hour back, didn't see any either. And then I started meeting them, and I assumed they'd all left at 6 o'clock because but they hadn't. They were all leaving like at 9 o'clock and 9:30. Incredible. 10 o'clock. So, but these are really long stages. I'm not sure where they stay. I've been checking out the stages. A lot of these stages, there's no accommodation. Yeah, there's no towns, there's no accommodation. So I don't know where the people stay. They bring a tent. I really don't know what they do. And the stages are like 35 kilometers, 36 kilometers, some of them. They're really long. And so that's a big day's walking. 8 hours, 10 hours. That's a big day. You'd want to be starting early, it just seems to me. But what do I know? But I met a few anyway on the way back in. I wish them all buen camino, and came back, had my shower, and now I'm going to head and do some shopping and wash the van. You get a lot of dust coming up from Africa. It's amazing. I remember when I lived in Khartoum in the Sudan, the haboub, this orange dust that could get into your apartment, into your fridge, and into the butter dish in your fridge. And it's the same stuff here, so it gets blown up very, very high from Africa, from the Sahara, and then the rain catches and brings it down. So when it rains, your car gets covered. So my car, there was rain a couple of days, my car is all sort of brown. So I really hate a dirty car. So I want to give Bolero a good wash. So I give it a wash, do some shopping, and then I don't know where exactly I'm going to go. I'm going to follow the route up so to the end of today's stage and see if there's anything there. And I have everything I need, so I don't need to worry about a town. I can park up anywhere. So I'll just see where it goes to and then decide what I'm going to do. So that's it. I'm in great form. Ellie sent me a text yesterday just saying that she'd watched my video, and she thought that getting onto the Camino to La Plata was a good idea, and I think she's right. I feel much better on it. I feel there's a sense of I'm going somewhere as opposed to I'm just wandering around. And I think if I head off, I would like to do a Camino come back in September and do it. But if I head on a big trip, I want to go down the Adriatic as far as Turkey also next winter. So if I do that, I'm going to set myself a goal, a place to get to, or places to get to, plan out a route. I don't do too well wandering around. I need a direction. I need a goal. I need somewhere I'm heading for. I need some sort of plan for me to function. I know it sounds strange, but there you go. What can I say? It's me. And I got a couple of really nice texts from friends of mine saying they watched the videos and how much they enjoy them. And I really appreciate that, because I really enjoy making them. Sort of bookends each day, and then bookends the week, and gives me a sense of accomplishment. And otherwise it all just sort of blends into one big long mush, you know. So I like this. And I also like the idea that my kids can watch them and see me, and I feel like they're coming along on the trip with me, and that's sort of important for me. So there you go, guys. That's sort of it. Enough reminiscing. I'm going to go and do the shopping and hit the road. Talk to you tomorrow. Hey guys, hello, good morning. It is Wednesday morning, and it is almost 11 o'clock, and I'm just in from my walk, had my shower, my shave. I'm just having a cup of tea. So it was a really nice walk, an easy walk. You can see it here. You can see where I'm parked first, and the town I'm in, this town, Placentia, something like that's called. Another sort of a medieval town. I'm going to go and explore later on. But I came here yesterday and parked up here. Got this beautiful spot by the park and by the river. Absolutely wonderful. And I'm just a little bit off the Via de la Plata trail, because I couldn't find anywhere nice to stay there. It seems to me that the trail on all trails, what I'm looking at on all trails, is what somebody walked, and they camped a lot of it, I think, as opposed to actually stages of the walk. We'll have to get a guide to the Camino de la Plata and actually see what the stages are. But anyway, so I pulled over a little bit into this town, and I'm going to stay here, I think, all day today and tonight, and head off somewhere else tomorrow. But this morning, I slept well, and this morning I got up and headed off about 8 o'clock and did 13.5k, I think it was, and about 250 meters, something like that, ascent, very little ascent. And 2 hours, over 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, something like that. It was a lovely walk, mainly on concrete. It's a bike route, really, along by the river. So you go along you cross over the far side of the river, and then you go along the river up as far as the reservoir, turn around where the dam is, the hydroelectric scheme, and then you back down this side and back in. A pleasant walk, nice, easy walk. Keep the old body moving, but no serious climbing, no big strains or pains or anything. So another lovely day. It's lovely and warm. Cold at night time. It gets down to low single digits at night time. So we're away from the Costa del Sol and the Costa del everything else, and we're moving up in the middle of Spain, and it gets cold at night time. When I went out this morning, my hands were really cold when I started walking. But it warms up then during the day. Today it's going to be mid-20s. So, I mean, it's glorious weather, and the sun is shining, the skies are blue, you know. What more could you ask for? So all is good. And yeah, as I say, I'll probably hang around here today, check out the town, and then tomorrow continue on somewhere. I like the spot I'm parked in here, so maybe I just rest here for today and do my little drive tomorrow, and drive back onto the Camino de la Plata, and find a trail and continue on and do a hike. So that's it. All is good, guys. Talk to you soon. Hey guys. So I don't know, it's about 3:30, I think, and I'm back in Valero, sitting out the siesta. I think it's 25 degrees, and they say it feels like 26 or 27, and it does. It's hot out there. It's wonderful. So I did a tour of the town, and I went to visit the cathedral and went up the castle walls and did all the usual bits and pieces. But the most impressive, and it was lovely, it's a medieval town, again the same kind of thing as the last place. Beautiful old stone and lovely squares and narrow little streets and alleyways. I mean, really, really charming. But it does seem a little bit, excuse me, it does seem a little bit like a town that is not investing. I noticed on the run this morning, or on the walk this morning, that every single lamppost, without exception, every one of them. So we're talking about 13 kilometres, and I'd say there were lampposts along at the very least half, or maybe more, maybe 7-8 kilometres of us had lampposts. Every one of them was smashed. I mean, every one of them, every single bin along there was smashed. And these were cast iron lampposts. They smashed, the tops were all smashed and wrecked. And the bins, the benches either side of the bins were cast iron, but the bins had been smashed. So it was sort of interesting to see that. And then to go uptown today, and it was funny going uptown, the escalators, a lift up, and then escalators to get you up the level from the river up to the old town. But the old town, as I say, was charming, but it felt like a little bit run down. Now, this is the time of year when they do all the work before the summer season, before all the tourists arrive. But even still, the whole place felt a bit neglected. There were a lot of empty shops. And a lot of these towns never really recovered from COVID. COVID killed the tourism, and they toured 3 years of no tourism. And a lot of the stores depended on it, and they just never recovered. So I saw a lot of vacant to rent and for sale signs and whatever, which is a bit sad. But the most interesting thing was I went to see a gallery, and they have an exhibition of linen and textiles, and it showed it was beautiful, all the old equipment and all this kind of good stuff that they used to do. You know, photographs of the old women sewing, doing this crochet and doing all this intricate embroidery and whatever. But the most interesting piece was on the ground floor. They had an exhibition by apparently some famous artist who paints on textiles, who paints on fabric. And I got a few photographs of it here. It was really, really nice. I was thinking of Sarah, actually. It was really, really nice, really interesting. And yeah, I thought she'd like it. So that's it. So I'm here, I'm chilling, I'm recovering from the heat. I've all the reflective blinds up and everything, and the door open, letting the air circulate. I've decided where I'm going to go tomorrow. So I'm going to go up to the next stage, the next destination, about 30 kilometres up the road. I go up there, there's a place to park there that I found, and I'm probably going to either walk back or walk out from there, one or the other, I'm not sure which yet. And so I'll go up there tomorrow morning. Interestingly, all the camper vans that were here parked all around me. The whole thing was full of them. Every one of them's gone. I'm the only one here. They were all German, so maybe they're all travelling together, who knows. So that's it. Talk to you all tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys. So I'm back in for my walk. It is 2:20 and I walked 20 kilometres. 20 kilometres, 300 metres of ascent in about 3.5 hours. And it was a really, really nice walk. Now, there were bits and pieces that were on paved road, but that's sort of part of it. There's nothing to do about it. So I walked out 10k and back in, and didn't meet a single pilgrim. It's amazing. I was sure there'd be loads of them coming up and I'd be meeting them, but no. So as I headed out, the first thing I noticed was the mountains. So the mountains all around us here, and they're snow-capped. And they're not that high. I think about 2,100 meters or something. But yeah, funny, isn't it? Here I am in the sun, no top on, and then there's snow up in the mountain just right beside us. So the walk was sort of interesting. First general observation, lots of mixed terrain. So there was gravel, there were paths, there was grass, there was hardcore, there was paved roads. It was really a mixed bag, but really, really lovely countryside. I actually passed by a bull, big monster of a bull. It's just there on the grazing on the path, and I was walking past him, scared the pants off me. Now they dehorned him. They don't dehorn the cows, but they dehorn the bulls. There you go. So the path was well signposted, like really well signposted, you know, with these blocks that they have in this particular province, the square blocks with the archway on it and the yellow steps going through it. And so it was well signposted, no problem there, but in disrepair. And there was a real sense that somebody spent a lot of money, on this Camino de Plata, and it's not being maintained. Maybe it doesn't do the numbers. Maybe the local authorities in these areas, maybe they're poor. I don't know. But for sure, this wasn't being maintained. I mean, bridges or the stepping stones have been washed away in the recent storms. Parts of the areas I was walking through were all really tight not brambles, but branches of trees, like they'll cut you. It was, I had a real sense that it wasn't being maintained. Which is a pity, because when you look at all the beautiful signage they have explaining everything, even how the Romans built the roads, it's really quite marvellous. But what can I say? Interestingly, I saw one of the piers, so you see it here. These were the columns that the Romans had on the roads, and it said who the emperor was at the time. It said who built it, how far was it to the next town, how many miles was it. Really quite amazing. And the way they used to build them was amazing. They used to first dig out, they lined out where the road was going to be. They dug out both sides, trenches, and packed them up on top to raise the road up and have drains for the water. And they would have, I noticed before when I was walking, how wide the path would be going along. There'd be these huge wide areas either side of it, with a fence over there or a wall and a fence over there, maybe 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 metres apart. I often wonder, what's this about? The Romans did that. So they did that when they built the roads, and they had these big wide areas the road went through. And also these roads were used in later years, in the Middle Ages, for moving sheep. And so they wanted those big wide areas where there was grass, where the sheep could graze as they're moving along, whatever. So it's really sort of interesting. But so anyway, I really enjoyed the walk. I was late going out. I drove up here this morning, got up and just didn't even my cup of tea, just drove straight up. And I spent maybe about 20 minutes, half an hour wandering around trying to find a good place to park. And I'm actually parked here, as you can see. I'll show you. I'm parked here right on the square. Well, there are 2 or 3 squares here, but this seems to be the main one. So I parked right here, and the post office is just down there. The little grocery shop. It's hilarious, actually. I mean, it reminds me of Ireland just years ago. Little country shops with the shelves packed up with every sort of bits of whatever. And I bought a baguette in one of them, and it's got to be €1, but I'm just not sure the quality of this stuff. But anyway, it is what it is. And I'll have a big salad sandwich. So that's sort of it. I'm going to hang around here for a while, have my shower. I'm just going to have my shower now. Have my shower, have a cup of tea, have some food, and then decide what I'm going to do. Will I stay in this little town? I might well. And just sit up there in the park, in the little square, and read. Or will I press on? I'm not sure yet. But yeah, lovely walk, 20k. Keep going, Porrick. Hey guys, well, you can see where I am. It's 6 o'clock my time, and I'm up in this tiny little village, and it's bloody Baltic. The sun is shining and the sky is blue, but I'm up high. So you can see I passed by that snow-capped peak on the way, and I topped up with water, emptied my wastewater, got some fresh bread, because the bread I got this morning was terrible. And I drove up to here, and what an incredible village. Now this place has a population of 86 people, but it's got about 3 or 4 albergues. It's so funny. And I just spoke to a Frenchman who's doing the Camino. I saw a couple walking in. They looked absolutely knackered. She did particularly. She could hardly walk. But they're wearing big heavy boots, it's amazing. Like big heavy stuff. Anyway, but you see this village, it is like something from the distant past. It's a medieval village, and they keep building and reusing the old stone, as you can see it, with these big overhangs. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, falling down, and I can't imagine there are too many conveniences up here. I'm glad I got my bread. But anyway, yeah, I thought I'd do something different for a change. So I'm up here and I'm parked up on this little square. And actually, you can see here, look at, there's another guy coming in. Buen Camino. And I call say Buen Camino to everybody, trying to cheer them all up and encourage them along. So yeah, so that's it. That's it for today. Talk to you tomorrow, guys. So today's walk was amazing. But first, let me go back to yesterday. So I drove up to this weird and wonderful little village. 86 population, 86 people, I think it was said. And there's nothing there. I mean, albergue, a church, and this little cafe bar thing, and some old people, and the whole place is sort of tumbling down. But I parked behind the church and right beside the little cafe, around the corner from the cafe. And when I was sitting there last night, I saw all the pilgrims walking up from the albergue to the cafe. So I went up and I joined them, and but I left them for about an hour, let them have their food. I went up and joined them. I ended up having food as well. I ended up having a cheese omelette in a sandwich. The Spanish food is like really, really weird. And but chatted away to them, and they were lovely. I met an Irish guy from Dublin, and the guy, in fact, I videoed yesterday walking past me. I said, when Camino to, when I was parked up. So I chatted to him. I had a good old gab. I chatted to a few of the others, a Dutch girl there, and there was a German man, some French people, a Canadian couple whom I met today. So that was last night, and I slept reasonably well. Got up this morning. Actually, I finished the book that I've been reading. So the 5 books in the series, the Stormlight saga, whatever they call it, Sanderson's books. I finished last night. I read till midnight. I just couldn't leave it down. I had to see what the ending was. And then I realised, of course, it hasn't ended. He said this is just the midpoint of the series. There's another few books to go. But it did sort of come to a conclusion, so it did. And so I got a good night's sleep and got up this morning and got up about 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock I headed off out on this walk, and it was bitterly cold. And you can see the shots here of the mountains. I'm right up beside the mountains, and they're all covered in snow. It was really cold, and there was a wind that would cut you in two. So I headed out anyway. I had my shorts on, I headed out, and I really felt I should have had more gear on. But I had on the Patagonia white or cream top with a hood. I was able to pull it up and close it up, and underneath it I had merino wool second layer, if you wish, and underneath that I had a t-shirt like this. So I was warming up, but my hands were freezing. I tried to tuck them up into the sleeves, they were freezing. But what a beautiful, beautiful walk. It was actually an unreconstituted piece of the Roman road, of the Via La Plata, or the Plata, and it was just amazing. You know, they build these roads. They dug either side, piled it up, so you had ditches on either side, and it was quite wide. These big wide, maybe 30-40 meters wide, and they'd fence it off. So that was the road went down the middle of this, and they ditches either side to take the water away. And then they built it up in grading rocks, from big rocks up to little stones, and then finished them in sand to protect the animals' feet, because of course the animals weren't shod in those days, and also I assume to not rattle the chariots and the carts and the whatever to pieces. But to walk along it and have all the mile markers, and then to see, like, is it 142 miles to wherever, and who the emperor was when this particular road was built. Just to see all of that was amazing. To realise you're literally walking on the road, and it's 2,000 years old, and some guy carved out that thing and popped it there, that big pillar, to say it's 142 miles to wherever you're going. I just find it, there's something about stone, you know, that I find very attractive. I love stone, I love wood, and but stone is amazing. I mean, it just endures, you know, it lasts a long time. And so yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful walk that was this morning. And then, as I say, I walked out. Most of them had left before me, but I caught up with them and passed them by, and then I ran back. And the run back was lovely as well. Really, really easy. I mean, any little bit of steep hills, it was only a few of them, but any little bits to where I walked up those and just ran the rest of it back. And it's an easy pace. You're probably, I don't know, 7 minutes, kilometers or something. So yeah, so that's it. So now I'm parked up in a little town close by, about 10 minutes away from where I was last night. and I'm doing my laundry, so I'm going and check it now. I'm doing my laundry, and then I'm going to dry my laundry. While the laundry's drying, I'm going to have a bite to eat, and then I'm going to drive up to the next place where all these pilgrims are going to be tonight. I told them I'd meet up with them this evening, and some of them want to see the van. They're interested in getting vans of their own, so they want to see Bolero. So that's it, guys. A wonderful, wonderful week. My second last week, and next week is the last week. I'll be travelling home at the end of next week. I think Sunday or Monday. I think Sunday I take the ferry. So I'll have one more week. I may continue up with the Via de la Plata, or Camino de la Plata, or I may turn over to Portugal, over to Porto, and go up through Portugal and across the top of Spain. I'm really not sure yet. I got to wait and see. It's going to be really cold as I get up towards Salamanca. I'm getting up higher and higher, and it's getting really, really cold. I mean, it was 0 last night in Salamanca, you know, but it's dry. It's dry and it's bright, so it's just a question of wrapping up. I got to find where those gloves are that I brought, just in case gloves. So that's it, guys. Great week, and I'll have my video up. Probably I'll be home by the time I get my next video up. And I'll see you all then. Cheers, bye-bye.